Hi everyone, kia ora, happy International Women's Day. I'm making decorations for my kids' cakes for their birthday party on Sunday tonight. So I thought that I would just tuck the video on and let you watch, and seeing as it's their birthdays and it's International Women's Day, I would share my rather traumatic birth stories. Before that, a little few rules about the chat. Please be kind, please be respectful. If you've got an opinion, you're welcome to it, but express it kindly. It's an R18 chat because there will be some triggers possibly for people in it with things I'm talking about in the future, and I can and do swear. Sorry about the bells you can hear. My kittens are going crazy on the kitchen floor. Hopefully they'll tire themselves out and go to sleep soon. What else was the rules? Nothing else. Yeah, just enjoy listening to me talk. Hopefully it's loud enough. You are quite a wee way away from me. I've kind of got to have to set something up on a basket because I don't have it set up. I'm still relatively new to this. Sorry. Still also really relatively nervous. So my week, we're going to do a catch up first. I hope you've all had a great week. I've been to the gym twice this week. I have been shopping to organise for the kids' birthday party. Various appointments. Had a pretty good week actually. No complaints here. Hoping to get out for a walk in the morning. And then, yeah, decorating cakes tomorrow night. So I'll probably do a video tomorrow night while I am putting buttercream on and when I put the decorations on the cakes. I'm not going to fully finish the decorations tonight. I've just got to cut them out. You know, got to start somewhere, right? And they need time to dry. They're going to go on top of the cakes. So, I'm going to make Spidey. And then Barbie. I've got my red fondant ready for Spider-Man, cutting him out. Got my wee sharp craft knife, which remember not to stick myself with. That's always really good. Got some blue food colouring on it. It was in the food colouring box and I have had the blue out, so that's not surprising. Alright, so you've just joined us, hi, although at the moment I'm on my own, but that's alright. I'm just here to talk and to gain some confidence, not be such a nervous person, and to share what I love doing. So first up, we need some corn flour, cornstarch, whatever you call it, wherever you are, on board, and roughly enough fondant to make a decent sized Spider-Man mask. I might just have to cut the edge of that because it's a bit hard. Yep. I think I need a bigger knife. Anyway. Hope everybody's having a good Friday night, or Friday night in New Zealand, 9:35 PM. I imagine that everybody's out having fun while I'm sitting here doing this, but this is my kind of fun anyway. So, we do what we love, right? The computer won't turn itself to silly land. Got my rolling pin. Lethal weapon. Not funny. Alright, we're charging around the lounge now, the kittens. Okay, so birthing stories. I had my first child when I was 35, nearly 36. And she was due on the 15th of March 2018. And she was a bit of a madam. Went for our first scan and we did we were sort of told that she high potential of being a girl, which I was quite happy about because I was quite scared of a boy. Hi, welcome to my stream. I'm making cake decorations. How are you, viewer? I hope you're having a good night. Yes, so nearly 6 years ago, I had my daughter. Pregnancy, a little hard, older, a bit scared of things going wrong, and with mental health issues, there was always the risk of postnatal depression, which I did end up getting. So we potentially knew that she was going to be a girl from early on, even though we were told not to quote the sonographer because they're not supposed to be able to tell you that, but in his experience, when he saw a particular thing on the scan, it would usually turn out to be a girl. So we were, that was great. She, at her 20-week scans, didn't want to get all her bits photographed, so we ended up having to go 3 times to get the anatomy scans because the little madam would put a hand over her heart and they couldn't get a clear picture of her heart. Meanwhile, I was planning a wedding and trying to work and she was being a little madam. So roll on to nearly the due date, and went to bed, I think it was a Monday night, and on the 12th, it was coming up to the 13th, and a friend of mine had a birthday on the 13th, and I started going into labour sort of about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I knew he was still awake, and I messaged, I wonder if this baby thinks it's going to come on your birthday, because I'm in labour, and this is horrible. But it wasn't even bad labour, it was just the beginning of labour. Fast forward a very painful night or two, because I was in labour for 36 hours. Eventually, it was 2 o'clock the next morning, the midwife was like, right, okay, we have to get you to the hospital. So I think you're ready to have this baby. Oh, okay, cool. We got to the hospital and got the gas. Got ready to have this baby, you have to wait around. I'm sure there are many viewers that have had babies. So... Hi Flash, yep, Spider-Man. I've just made the base for the face. I can't put the lines on him yet, but he's going on the top of my son's cake. So, yeah, got my template. That's the bit we don't want. Put it in the bin. When we got there, I did opt for an epidural after lots of squeezing my poor ex-husband's hand to pieces, and pulling on his shirt. I think I just about strangled him with his jacket around his neck a few times. Oh, honestly. The fact that he stayed in the hospital and still held my hand and came into theatre with me when she was born, so when she when it was getting too hard, I opted for epidural, and that took over an hour and a half before the anaesthetist realised that the needle wasn't long enough to go into my back. Opting for an epidural is a bit of a risk anyway, because that needle was going into your back, and if it goes into the wrong place, it could do all sorts of things to your spine. So it was quite disturbing to think that he'd been wriggling around in there for an hour and a half, and the needle wasn't long enough to go where it needed to go, so he had to go and get a needle that was long enough, and finally, eventually, I got my epidural. The on-call obstetrician came in to see how things were going, and I'm not sure where he was from, but throes of giving birth, you say some pretty horrible things. Like I was telling my ex-husband that I hated him, it was his fault we were here. I was telling jokes to the nurses, or they wouldn't be able to tell you what I was telling them. I was on gas too, so. But he came into the room and he was talking to me and this obstetrician, and I just asked him to stop talking. Could someone else talk to me, because I didn't like his accent. He kind of left the room and went to have his lunch break. He was like, no, you can wait. That's really good. Like, don't call me, I'll call you. I'll come back when I'm ready. Obviously he was on call, so if anything had gone wrong, he would have been straight back. But yeah, he had his lunch and he came back. I think we'd finally let my ex-husband out for a cigarette break, because the poor bugger had been awake almost as long as I had. I think he'd had a little nap, but 36-hour labour was not good for either of us. So we got the epidural, the surgeon came back, and yeah, looks like you're ready to go. Okay, start pushing. Right. Well, fuck. You can't feel anything because you've been given an epidural. So I had no idea what I was doing, and I could feel it, but apparently I was pushing. But it got to a point where I had been pushing for a bit too long, and so they were worried that, yeah, I was going to get a bit distressed, and so was the baby. So they got me ready, prepped for theatre in case she had to be a cesarean, and they got forceps ready, and they're like, you need to push, you've got 3 pushes basically, and you're in surgery. All my strength, 1, no, 2, no, okay, forceps have to be used. So they got them loosely around her head, and they said, okay, 1 more push, and if she doesn't come out with this, then you're going into theatre and you're going to have a cesarean. So I just gathered all my strength, and I know my little daughter just decided, yep, okay, mum's done, time to come out now. And that last push out she came. So, but yeah, no, oh my God, I had been told that I kept my mum in labour for about 36 hours, so my daughter was just getting me back for what I did to my mum. I hope to God my daughter doesn't go through 36 hours of labour, because fuck that. Excuse me. Happy, healthy little baby, but our hospital experience wasn't that great. So we ended up being moved to a smaller hospital about half an hour away from home, and I had trouble feeding, so they had a little bit more leeway than the hospital did, and they put us onto formula straight away so the baby would get the nutrients she needed and start to grow, and she did. Now she's a healthy 6-year-old with a lot of sass, or nearly 6-year-old, she'll be 6 on Thursday, with a lot of sass. She's her mother's daughter, I'm told. She's loving school, but she's not particularly keen on making new friends. So that's something we're getting her to work on this year. Right, I have done Spider-Man's face. So now I need to do his eyes. Sorry, this is still so new to me. But it is fun. So yeah, I'm going to do Spider-Man's eyes, which means that I need to cut the eye shapes out before I roll out some white, and then I will stick them on tomorrow once I have done the lines for the webs. It's quite great that both of my children couldn't agree on a TV program or theme that suited them both for a cake. They had to have one each. So here's Mum on Friday night making the decorations to stick on them. They don't get quite as elaborate cakes as my friends asked me for, but they're happy with the cake. Considering Madam doesn't even eat cake, although Mr. Nearly 4 does. So missing them quite a bit at the moment. It's very quiet without them. They make a lot of noise when they're here. And you just think, oh my goodness, I can't think, I can't hear myself think. But gosh, when they're not here, it's too quiet. Even the kitten's bells is like, no, that's not the right noise. I need the constant chatter of my son questioning everything and telling me everything that I already know. Or, asking an obvious question. Why this? Why that? What you doing? Are we doing this? Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Oh my God, he's adorable. So, his birth story. By the time I gave birth to him, I was on my own. Single mum. Looking after my daughter 5 days a week. And she'd go to her dad for 2. And it was a good arrangement because it meant I can do all my pregnancy appointments when I didn't have my little girl. Much easier to do those than cart an almost 2-year-old around while you're pregnant, trust me. My little boy was due on the 23rd of March in 2020. And as we in New Zealand know, that's just before we went into lockdown for the dreaded C word, which, not cancer, the other one. So on the 10th of March, I had an uncle who was actually in hospital, and an aunt had messaged me and asked if I could go and pick him up. And I was like, oh, I don't really feel like I'm not feeling very well, but no one else can pick him up. It's pretty mean if I don't. I've got no reason not to, except for I feel sick. All I have to do is, go and get him, bring him back in the car, and, at night. The universe had other ideas. As I got ready to go, I discovered that I was bleeding when I should not have been, so straight on the phone to midwife. Yeah, I don't think I should be really bleeding. What's going on? She asked, was it a lot or a little? And I said, well, it's actually quite a bit. More than I would expect, anyway. Oh, cool. 22nd of March. So you are a Pisces as well. If I didn't have gloves on my hands, I would go and write your birthday on the calendar, because that's just what I do. Happy birthday for the 22nd of March, if I forget. Oh no, Aries, of course, yes. I'm still learning. My children are Pisces. I'm Cancer. Their dad's a Taurus. That's screwed. Yeah, so midwife told me to sit tight, and she was on her way. She was about 20 minutes away from being able to get back to me, so that was fine. Sit tight. Make sure I had everything ready for the hospital, and she would pick me up and take me. And then she hung up, and so I started sort of getting ready, and I was really hurting, and I was thinking something's really not right, but I'll listen to her. And she rang back and she said, oh, okay, I want you to ring the ambulance straight away, because they can get to you before I can, and they can start doing the checks and get you into, the ambulance and stuff. So, okay. So I picked up the landline phone so that I could use my cell phone to text, and I went down the other end of the house and left my cell phone up by my bedroom. Not a smart idea. Rang the ambulance, and the operator kept me on the line. And as I was talking to her, I started to get really, really dizzy and sort of felt like I was going to lose consciousness. So she asked if there was anybody's number that I could think of for her to call, because I told her that my cell phone was down the other end of the house, and there was just no way I was going to be able to walk to get it. So the only person's phone number that I could remember at the time was my ex-husband. Of course, he had my daughter, that had our daughter at the time, so that was great, because that was one thing I didn't have to worry about. Spider-Man now has eyes, sort of. So the ambulance officer kept me on the line, or the 111 operator, and rang my ex-husband, and he was on his way to drop our daughter off. So he gave them my sister's number so they could ring my sister and get her to come to me. So eventually it was organised that someone could come to me. Meanwhile, I'm just sort of coming in and out of wool land on the couch. And the ambulance turned up and I managed to get up enough to move I think it was about a metre to open the ranch sliding door. And, oh my God. So they sort of caught me and sat me down, and my sister and the midwife turned up at the same time, so they did their checks and they ended up putting me in the ambulance, and they made me walk. I have steps, and made me walk to the ambulance, like down the steps, down the driveway, into the ambulance, and I was horrified. I do remember losing consciousness on the way to the hospital, which wasn't fun. And I remember getting to the hospital and being taken to a room, and they put lines in my arms straight away, for whatever they needed the lines in there for, and then they realised that if they were going to take me to surgery, I couldn't have my clothes that I was wearing on, so they had to cut those off and prep me for surgery, and I don't remember, I think I remember being wheeled into theatre, and then I remember coming to from my caesarean, my emergency caesarean, very quick. So I started feeling sick at 9:30 in the morning, pretty sure it was 12:30 my son was born, and I think by 2:30 I was awake in recovery. I woke up in recovery, panicked, because waking up in recovery is not fun. Anyway, just a moment. Anyone who's had an operation and come off an anaesthetic, you will understand. So I was very emotional, and I hadn't even registered that I'd had a baby. Oops, that's too much. Just colouring white font and painting my face, too much colour. And then they told me that my baby was in Skaboo, and he'd had breathing issues, and oh my goodness. And he had little wires hooked up to him, and a little thing on his finger, and monitors and that. I've got a photo on my fridge, that's what I'm looking at now. But I didn't actually see him like that. Someone else saw, I think my sister maybe got to see him, or the midwife, maybe just the midwife. I think my sister was trying to wait for me. Anyway, I had just sort of been told, you know, you might not see your baby for a while, and they wheeled him in. And I cried, because I was like, hang on a minute. I'm not there's a baby. But then relief, because he was okay. So it turned out that my placenta had ruptured, and there was a blood clot in my womb with that as well going on, and that's what had caused the bleed. And there were some issues with his breathing inside, and his heart rate and stuff, so he had to come out really quickly, and I'm glad he did. So given his name, which I called him my little V8, because he just came in such a hurry. And he is now, lives life in a hurry now, talks in a hurry, brushes about, doesn't know what walking feet are. Mind you, I don't know many nearly 4-year-old boys that do know what walking feet are. It's run everywhere, climb, jump, create havoc. But yeah, so both of my children were born under not ideal circumstances, pretty traumatic for me. Daughter's birth, pretty traumatic for the ex-husband as well, and sadly I got postnatal depression afterwards, and we ended up splitting up when I was only 4 weeks pregnant with my son, and I made the decision to keep him based on my own views of not, and believing that every child comes for a reason, and know chooses you, wants to be with you. He could have died. We had to have tests for amniocentesis for Down syndrome and a couple of other things, and I was quite high risk. So there was that. There was all sorts of things that had to be considered, but at the end of the day, he was in me already, and there was already a bond in my eyes, especially since I hadn't bonded with my daughter. so much, because I was always worried that something could go wrong. Whereas with my son, I didn't. I just wanted to love my baby. Yeah, so both very, very different experiences, but two amazing children out of it, and I wouldn't be for the world without them. Yeah. Oh. Does get a little bit hard talking about yourself. I'm going to make Barbie's head, that's why I'm making pink. So most of the time I buy coloured. I don't quite like the pink that red and white gives, although I'm not sure this is quite dark enough. But I think my daughter will be fine with it. I need a bit more of that. It's quite sticky because of the food colouring. Definitely very boy and girl cakes, because my son wants blue icing underneath his Spider-Man mask, and of course we're going to have pink icing under Barbie. So I'm also going to make some hearts. I do want it a little bit actually darker than that, so I might try some red fondant. It's all trial and error. Play-Doh, plasticine, clay, whatever. I always loved plasticine as a kid. We had this program called Spot On when I was about 8 or 9. And I got this book from a Spot On book club or something, and playing with plasticine, and I'd buy plasticine when it dried out. I'd spend my pocket money on buying more plasticine. So I guess that's where this love of making fondant decorations comes from. Well, it's pretty basic. I mean, I'm just cutting around 10 plates. To me it's basic, but then I get people say, wow, you did that. Yeah. I'm just blessed with the ability to be able to turn sugar paste into something that people like the look of, and cakes into something people like the taste of. I made baked my son's cakes this week. I was going to do it on a video, but it's quite an involved recipe, and it is one where I do actually have to read the recipe. And I said in a previous video that I don't have to. That's pretty much just with the chocolate cake at the moment. But this vanilla cake is very involved, and so I did need to be able to focus a little bit more on that. So doing a video would be a little bit hard. So I've rolled out Barbie, and I'm trying to think about what else I can talk about. Any questions? I want to work out how to get Spotify playing, or to be able to play Spotify in the background, because I would like a bit of music. I do like music when I'm working on my cakes. And at some stage I would really like to get myself a laptop that I can set up and use the webcam and that. Sadly, it's going to be a while away. The two tabby elephants are tinkling down the hallway. Lucky they're cute. Well, that's the other thing. They got microchips and vaccinations and flea treatment this week. Got to look after the babies. My last cat I didn't vaccinate, and he ended up with a virus that turned into blood cancer, and he pretty much died right in front of my eyes. I'd booked him in for the vets at 9 o'clock in the morning because he'd been sick the day before. And I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I heard a funny noise. And here's my turbo cat lying in the hallway, just looking at me, meow. And he got up and he sort of walked to me. He let me give him a smooch, and then he just went, oh. And he was only breathing, and I had to wait for 4.5 hours before I could actually take him to the vets, and by then, like, he was literally just breathing. He couldn't see, to go like that in front of his eyes, nothing. Yeah, it was pretty horrible because he was my buddy. I'd had him since he was 11 weeks old. He'd come from just down the road from where I grew up, which I call the ghetto, where I live. He used to run away when my ex-husband and I moved into this house. He used to run back to our old house, which is quite close to where my daughter goes to school. And we swear that he was eating out of the rubbish bins or something, or that someone was feeding him, because he would come home, but he would bugger off for days, and then he might come home again. I used to send my ex-husband out because I was pregnant with our daughter, and like, I'd send him out to go and look for the cat. I'd go with him as much as I could, but sometimes it was just like, if you're going out, could just take some treats. If we were going to have KFC, I'd be like, go past the school, and guaranteed either Turbo would jump into the car. Whoops, I'm sorry, I'm off screen because I'm cutting at a different angle. So Turbo would either like come out and jump into the car because he smelled the KFC, or within sort of 10 minutes of my ex-husband getting home, he would be Turbo meowing at the door or coming through the cat flap, wanting his share. And we recently had a KFC put in closer to us because you had to go about 20-minute drive away. And I joked to my ex-husband, when that opens, I'm going to lose Turbo for good. Like, he's going to go and live at KFC. He's never going to come home. But he died just before I opened, so I never got to test that theory. But I do believe that given half a chance, Turbo would have just gone and lived in the Pak'nSave mall car park and, tried to scavenge as much KFC as he could. He's definitely a character of a cat. I could hear him coming. He'd call out for me from down the other end of the section. I'm coming, Mum, I'm coming. I'd have to call out to him, let him know where I was. So if I was in the bedroom, he'd know I was in the bedroom, and if down he'd come, or if I was in the lounge, come find me. Such a beautiful cat. Such a beautiful boy. And his mum died when he was 3 weeks old, so he was hand-reared. So hand-reared cats are a little special on their own too. And then the cats I've got now are little farm cats. And they spent, like, their mum took them outside as the first opportunity. So when they came here, they were like, hey, what? We're not going outside. That's not fair. But they've had a foray outside today. And of course, they found under the house, because, kittens will always find that. So under the house they went, but they came out. I lured them with a toy and they came out. So, right, I'm just giving Barbie a chinectomy because she just doesn't quite look right. I don't know if that's a word, but chinectomy is now a word that I'm using. I'm just going to get my tools back in the tick. That's if I can remember where I put them. I've had a big tidy up and put things away. And I'm really good like that. Okay, here I found my tools. They weren't far away. Now working out which one I need. But Barbie has a head. Spider-Man has a head and eyes. So mostly achieved what I wanted to tonight. I just want the right tool. There we go. Flutter Barbie's eyelashes a little bit. Welcome to the new viewers. I hope you're having a good evening. You missed out on the birth stories, but you can probably go back once the stream's finished and watch the video. I'm just giving Barbie a chinectomy if you didn't hear that before. The computer is turning itself off. I'm having quite a bit of fun doing this actually. It's hard talking about myself, but at the same time, it's quite therapeutic, and it's keeping me company. So, let's see if I can get Barbie without destroying her, because fondant is fun. We have Barbie's head. So, I'm going to have one very happy daughter with that. Spider-Man done. Well, till I can paint his web on him and his eyes. Barbie done. And I was going to make some little hearts to go on my daughter's cake as well. So let's see if I can find them. They're supposed to be in this one. Supposed to be. Anyone who knows me will know that that's a laugh. Right, there goes a paintbrush for one of the kittens. No, we don't want him to play with it. Okay. Ah, the hearts are in the other one. Of course they are. The other one I'm not looking in. Paintbrush out of the kitten's way, and I will change my gloves because one, they're yucky and sweaty, and two, I just touched the floor. Now I'm going to touch my hair, so I will sanitise, and then I'll put my gloves back on. Far, far too much stuff. I'd need to either go into business or buy more cupboards. Thanks, Flesh, for joining us. Have a good sleep. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support. Right. Clean hands. Clean gloves. I think I see hearts. I don't know that that's big enough. Nope. Okay, because the other option is moulding. It might be big enough. The other option is moulding hearts out of this so that they're a little bit more 3D, which I can do as well. But I'll try the wee hearts and stars. She likes hearts and stars. Sometimes I write messages on their lunch boxes, on their sandwiches, sorry, and she makes me put hearts and stars on it for her, so she's a bit of a cutie. She's getting a cake or cupcakes for school too. I've been and asked the teacher if it's okay, and as long as we know the ingredients and rah-rah that it is. So I'm just trying to decide whether I want to make a whole lot of Garfield's butts for her cupcakes, or because she wants a Garfield cake with Garfield's butt coming out of the top, his his tail and his back legs and his bum, and then his head coming out the bottom of the cake, so it looks like he's actually dived into the cake. But I'm not sure. I really, yeah. But then I don't want to make 18 butts either. They're going cupcakes, so they'll be smaller and fiddlier, and yeah. Well, this star is a bit out of shape, so that's not ideal. No, I think I'll use the plungers for that one. Poke that out. Trial and error. I'm not working to a design for my daughter's cake, really. She told me kind of what she wanted. She's sort of getting what she wanted. Okay, now the stars were back in the other one, weren't they? It's that kind of day, honestly. I thought there was a different kind of star in here, but there is not. I was seeing things. Nope, not on the bench. found it. So we've got hearts and stars. Miss turning 6 will be happy. Must be nice to be 6 and get exactly what you ask for. As adults, we don't always have that privilege. I don't want to go into concentration mode either, because then I might lose everyone. All my one viewers. Feel free to chat. I will respond. I am looking. Feel free to follow if you like to as well. Then when I'm online tomorrow night doing the actual decorating and putting buttercream on and stuff, you can watch that too. I won't talk about birthing stories. I'll probably have some funny anecdotes with kids because they're coming home tomorrow. Excuse me. Oh, there's like a bloodbath of pink dye in the bottom of my sink, and my sink is, I don't know what it's actually made out of, but it's not stainless steel. And that is not going to be pretty. And the tabby elephants are still running around. I thought they might have gone to sleep by now, but it was supercharged. They must have had too much of a sleep after they went outside today. Can you guys go to sleep, R2 and D2? Yeah? Oh, I don't think you need to go in my cupboards. Oh, seriously, it's like still having the children home with these kittens. Tomorrow, hopefully, they'll get a longer go outside. And, oh no, we're eating now, so that means sleep. Hunt, catch, kill. So they've been hunting, catching, and killing each other. Eat, groom, sleep. So one's eating now, that means they'll have a groom, and then hopefully they'll go to sleep for a few hours. They've been exploring the rest of the house today too. And they have found my bedroom, but they haven't settled on my bed, so they'll be shut back down this end of the house, possibly for the night. I'm not keen on having 2 kittens on my bed, but I might not have any choice because they can actually get themselves down there if they put their minds to it. Look, little elephants, do you know how much noise you're making? Quite a bit. But having a great time doing it. Got my little hearts and stars. I might have to make a few more. I hope I don't have to make more pink, because matching the colour, that's the other thing. If you don't make enough of the colour the first time, then matching it when you're trying to go and make it again. But I use 3 different pinks, so on 2 different pinks and the red, so I should be okay. I should be able to match it. And how hard can it be? I'm still deciding if I'm going to put Barbie on a circle just to make her look a little less plain. And I'm probably going to try and make the Barbie logo tomorrow. Because I'm pretty sure that's what my little girl wants. So on their birthdays and Christmas, I try to do as much as I can to give them what they want. They're not spoiled little brats by any means, although they do sometimes act like it. Most of the time, they are the most beautiful children, and I get plenty of comments on them. My son is just so enthusiastic. And when my daughter warms up to people, she is too. She's a wonderful girl. And she's got lots of compassion. She's so arty. And she's currently taking a liking to maths as well, which is good. Mummy was into maths. I did study accounting at university, but I'm not the type of person that really wants to be stuck in an office, sitting in front of a computer. I have tried that when I worked for the tax office, and when I worked for a law office, and when I worked for the airline. So yeah, I'm more a people person. You can be a people person in an office, I know. I was on the phones a lot with my law firm job and all the other jobs, but I was solely the phone with my airline job because I was in reservations. Yeah, but I don't really like being cooped up inside. I don't mind being cooped up in my kitchen and doing mindless little things that I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to annoy anyone doing it. I can do it my way, and if it doesn't work, I've got to solve the problem. And if I don't know how to do it, watch a YouTube video, or check Pinterest, or lots of avenues. That's how I've taught myself over the years. So I think I've had, in 2020 I made my first cake for my friends. So that's 3.5 years, because I think it was August. So yeah, 3.5 years I've been making cakes for friends if they ask for them, and trying to make cakes for my family members, and just bring as much joy to people's lives as I can, because how can you not get joy from cake, icing, sugar, chocolate? I like experimenting with different icings too, so I'll use chocolate ganache. Some cakes, if somebody wants black, so I've done a Stranger Things cake, which I'm not sure I put on my YouTube channel, but it is on my Facebook page. The Caking by NZ, the same as my channel. And you can go check out my cakes there. So to get the black, it's better to use ganache. I'm not using a whole lot of food colouring. And I get a better black. I have tried to do black buttercream, but it ended up looking kind of grey. I think it needed 3 or 4 days to sort of settle the colour in, and by then you kind of want to be eating it, or have eaten it. I'm not a fan of American buttercream, which is whipped up butter and icing sugar. I'm not a fan of the icing sugar texture. Grainy, yuck. So I don't tend to make what I'm not a fan of, but if anybody asked me to, I would still like to try Italian meringue buttercream. And I would like to try Russian buttercream. Russian buttercream is whipped up butter and a tin of condensed milk, and apparently that is just the bomb. So I do want to try that at some point. Probably could have for the kids' cakes, but I'm not. I'm just going to do Swiss meringue, and it's just smoother, it's nicer, it's more stable. We're going to the beach for the birthday, so I don't want it to go everywhere. And Swiss meringue seems to be the most stable. It stays up in the heat kind of thing. Just about run out of pink fondant. And I've managed to talk for just about an hour and get things done, this is good. This is good. I've got so much done because I'm talking away as if I've got someone here, and I've still got one person watching, so I appreciate you. Appreciate anyone who views, anyone who comments, anyone who follows. I just appreciate the fact that there is this avenue that I can do this, and I sort of didn't see this coming out of my breakup last month, so it's quite cool. I'm quite enjoying it. I just want to be able to do more and have the camera in a better place, and my kitchen light is not in a good place. I can't do anything about that. I'm not going to renovate the landlord's house just because the light gets in my videos when I'm streaming. I do upload my videos to YouTube as well, and I'm pretty sure there's a link in my Twitch bio for YouTube and Facebook. So if you've come in on the end and want to see the beginning, which was birth stories, so if you missed those, that's where it's at. But it's International Women's Day, it's my kids' birthdays, and, well, why the hell not? Eventually I'll get into what I've been through to make me who I am today, and what PTSD is like for me, my personal experience, because I'm under no illusions that anyone else has an experience close to mine, or anything like mine. We're all unique. We all may go through things that are similar, but how we deal with them, how our brains cope with them, is all different. So I'll eventually get into that stuff. I'm learning a lot about a particular type of person at the moment. So try not to get caught in the web want to go back into the dating world of people who aren't looking for what they say they are, you know. That'll be another video too. The world of a dating site in a small town and in New Zealand. Oh my god. I often wanted to write to That's Life magazine and be like, can I do an anonymous story? Because it's a fucked up world out there in the dating world. There are some really messed up people. I've met some great people. But, yeah, wow. And the things people think that they can say because they're hiding behind a computer, you know, or that they can do, or they can send, it's just like, come on. You might be behind a computer, but act as if you're standing right in front of me. Would you do that if you were standing right in front of me? Interesting way to view a dating site, but I also kind of saw it as a social experiment after my marriage. When I first joined up, I waited 2 years after my marriage ended before I even wanted to think about dating. And then I've met a few great friends, and one of them's actually helped me get into my walking in my gym and encouraged me in my weight loss and my mental health journey and stuff, so he's fantastic. And whenever I need a bit of a boost, provided he's not millions of miles off the coast working, I can message him and tell him I'm having a bad day, and he's like, nah, you don't nothing to worry about. Yeah. Anyway, I am running out of words. I'm running out of steam. I will be finishing off Spider-Man's mask tomorrow, so I'll be putting the black around my white eyes. So this is my template. I'll be putting the black around. I'll be putting the web on the wee mask that I've made. Well, it's a little bit stiffer now, so back it up. So it will be Spidey. I was going to try and make buttercream, like do the meringue part of the buttercream for one lot of buttercream, because I'm going to make one during the day on video tomorrow, but by the time the kids go to bed that's not going to be feasible, so I'll hopefully get it to the meringue stage before then, and maybe mix the butter in, but then that means that the mix is going, so you'd have to have your sound down, and that's not exactly the most fun thing. But then I can also just turn it on, have it on the background, and keep whipping over to put butter in it while I'm doing something else over here. So we'll see how it goes, but I do intend to try and be on around about 7:30, 8 o'clock New Zealand time tomorrow night, Saturday night, because hashtag mum life, hashtag no life. Nah. I don't think I'd rather have anything I'd rather be doing on a Saturday night than making birthday cakes for my kids, to be honest. They're pretty special. They deserve to know that they're loved and they're cared for, and I mean they're showing that every day anyway, but if I can make cakes, keep the smiles on their faces, why not? Alright, well, I hope everybody has a lovely evening. Thank you so much for joining me, anyone who has been viewing, anyone who watches after. If you are enjoying watching me, please follow me, either on Twitch or if you're watching on YouTube, and that way you can get notifications of when videos are coming up, just in case you are interested. Well, it looks like I haven't been on quite an hour, but I have run out of things to do, and I do want to stop blathering and think of a topic for tomorrow night. I might delve into the world of dating a little bit, the dating site, because wow, yeah. We'll see. I'll come up with something. But if you want to view again tomorrow, please do. Please come back. And always feel free to express an opinion in chat, as long as you can do so kindly, or say hi. And, yeah, have a fantastic Friday night. Have a wonderful Saturday. And with any luck, I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.